Hey there, it's me, Katie-Beth again. And my guest star today is...
John.
I didn't know if you had any type of code name.
Oh no, I don't.
I am John the Incredible.
Oh, I just do these things. I don't do any of these.
So my friend John here, he's really good at crafts, and he's always posting them. And he started making these 3D little. The first one I saw was a snow globe.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I made a snow globe because my little sisters love snow globes, and they have a 3D effect because they're a dome, and there's one in the background, an image in the background, and an image in the foreground. So when you move them around, it looks like they're tiny snow globes, and the snow moves around. And yeah, and I just started making other things. I made this donut one with sprinkles. If we go like this, why are sprinkles alive? And yeah, and I just made stuff that have weird shapes, and they cast weird shadows, like the Pokeball one I made, and it's just two colors. But if you go move them around, you're like, why is there a shadow of the belt thing on the bottom? That's kind of interesting to look at.
Let me get closer in on.
These are just glass domes that have a foreground and a background. So you do one design in the back and one design in the front, and since they're domes, you get this weird 3D effect when you turn it around. It's like those holograms in baseball cards and stuff. They're different layers, so it looks like they're 3D. So yeah, I turned some of them into magnets. I turned some of them into pendants, and I turned some of them into magnetic pendants that go so there's a Pokeball.
Get closer.
It's a Pokeball and a Mimikyu, who is a ghost Pokemon. So it works with the whole weird it's disembodied, has disembodied mouths and stuff. So
show me the back of the Pikachu.
The Mimikyu, yes, it's just a magnet. It's just a really thick 1-inch magnet, which is a little heavy, and it captures the Pokemon, so I can have this as a keychain. Yeah, it's really nice, and I'm still figuring things out, so it's fun. And I also make ones that are just magnets. This is one version of Venom. It's the blue one. And I used negative space, so I just painted the background all blue. And then I painted the white stuff and the kind of a weird background so to define the shape. And you go like that, you can see it's a weird shadow, which is very weird, ethereal in its effect. And the most fun ones are, this is the Rick and Morty portal I made. And this one is 2 back to back. So it's one behind the other, and you can see there's 3 layers of portals. So when you go like that, you can see it all the way in the back. And this one, I use smaller magnets because they're just a little tip here. So that's what I use for that. And there's other fun ones. This is a donut. And the sprinkles are all floating on top. I made another one that's really simple, fried egg one, because my friend likes fried eggs, and the yolk is just there. And this one, I'm working on this one. This is Domino, the comics version of Domino. So it's just her black bodysuit and her hair and her lips. And when I go home later, I'm gonna paint the little thing on her eye on top. So when you go like that, it looks like she's following you, like the Mona Lisa.
That's really cool.
Thank you. And this is the one. These are the kind of ones you saw, right?
Yeah.
This is a North Pole with the snow, so you can see the snow is moving. There's ones in the back and ones in the front, so they're moving around like that. Yeah. This is another one. This one with a smaller magnet. It's a tiny magnet, so it doesn't wobble around. It's a wreath. So the candle is in the back art. So it looks like it's recessed, and the little cool. Tiny things on the wreath are on top, so you can see it moves. Oh, these are the little things, right? They're called glass stones, or cabochons. cabochons, cabochons. They're little tiny domes, and they're standard size. They're 1 inch in diameter, so they're standard sizes with magnets and pendants. And I would usually paint the background first, like what I did with Mimikyu, where this one I painted the yellow first. Then I painted the front. Then after it's all done, I painted the rest of the background purple that's contrasting so you can kind of see the yellow in front of the purple. Because when I try to do things that don't contrast, like this Rick and Morty one, they're all green. You can still see they're all like nice and swirly, but it gets a little murky. You don't see the contrast as much. Yeah, but it's nice, and I like it. I use some of the baking techniques I use where you just take a little blob and you take a toothpick and just run it through, and it makes these weird swirls on them.
Okay, let me see your process.
So
Show us your process.
Yeah, so I usually take a little bit of paint, not too much. I take out my little trusty shot glass where I usually use water and paint thinner. So to thin out paint thinner, this is the paint thinner. It's just for model kits. You don't need it as much if you're using acrylic paints, which I am. And I would usually let's make a Rick and Morty portal.
Okay.
Yeah. So I also like using fun paints like this is metallic. It's metallic. This is prismatic light green, so it has a color shift thing. And this is pearlescent white. And what I would do, I always paint the back first, so I can paint the details on top of it a little later. So you have to shake your paint because just a little bit, because you don't want to waste too much. The regular metallic paints are cheap, but like this prismatic one's expensive.
How much?
It is $4 a bottle, and that's why I use it sparingly. I use the metallic ones more. They're like $1.50 each at like Walmart and like Michael's. And I like doing things like swirly things because they're very forgiving if you're not very skilled. Like if it's like a Rick and Morty portal, like what does it really look like? It's blobs of white. They're usually like ooh, it just popped. Usually like smaller blobs of white, right? And you do little dots. So then you'll have thinner swirls of dark green. And it's good to like check on the opposite side. Oh, that's what it's gonna look like. And it's good to just, especially on smaller, more forgiving projects like that, just like to mix the paint because it's fun to like have those colors mix anyway. It's like I feel like Bob Ross when you do those, like this little happy swirls, and then happy swirls. And what happens is this is one of those baking things where you take a toothpick, you take swirls like that, and you just run them through, so that it kind of mixes the paint together. And you take bigger blobs and go like that, and they kind of just blend in together. They don't mix, which is good when you have like you don't need to thin out the paint. And then you have like this little like organic looking swirls. And what happens is you let it dry, but it can be like daring and just when it dries, say it dried, you do the top layer. And you do it similarly.
Should we pause and let it dry?
Nah, it takes like forever to dry.
Do you ever use like a hair dryer or a heat gun?
I tried to use a heat gun. It blew out on me. And hair dryers have too much wind. That's why we turned off the AC just right now. And I just let them dry, and also these things cook with heat guns, so it's not the most ideal things.
You get a weird fume.
Yeah, you get a weird fume. And it's cold, so I work indoors in the winter, so and just go like that. Like
it's so cold we had to turn off the AC.
Yes. And and then when you go like that, you can see how it's like on top of each other.
Not wanting to focus. There we go.
Yeah, they're just on top of each other. Let's see if this will help you focus. Like, if it's on top of the white things, so it's gonna be like just like that. Just let them dry, you know.
Do they make any flat layers of those type of things you can just put on?
They don't. I actually used to work with flat ones. I would use plexiglass, acrylic plastic, and I would pierce them. It's a process because you have to pierce the glass, break them to even segments, and they're not gonna break all even. Or maybe I'm just bad at it. So I would have to Dremel the edges of it after they're all connected. That's what I used to do. But that one you can do multiple layers. I've done a really thick one with like 7 layers, and it's two villains back to back. It's Captain Cold and Heatwave. They're like,
I saw that on Facebook.
it's fun, but that one is like this thick, and I'm like, well, it's heavy enough to be like what do you call those things? A paperweight now. So I just use it as a paperweight. But I still haven't Dremeled the sides of it because the thing is actually thicker than like one Dremel thing. So I have to like do it a long time. But I like those. I used to do those, but they don't have the. I like the dome ones because it does that weird distortion of the light.
Yeah,
makes it very interesting to look at, and it's much simpler. And they're all standard size. Like those ones, the plexiglass ones, I had to personally like shape and cut them very precisely.
What were you cutting them with?
I would use just a piercing glass, which is just like it's like a box cutter. It's just a very thick box cutter. You would pierce them, you put them on a vise, and you break it. And it would break clean if you did it properly, which it doesn't always happen.
That's cool.
It's fun, but it was a lot of work, and it's a lot heavier. Like plexiglass are like, even they're plastic, they're a lot heavier than these smaller ones. So yeah, that's what I used to do, and then that's how I learned how to do the foreground and background and middle ground things. And I'm gonna make more of those Pokemon ones because, there you have different Pokeballs. Yeah, and there's the fun ones, right? You get to like, I forget what it did. Like it attract. Oh, it's chasing the Mimikyu. Oh, but it would just fly in, and you can change the.
Now it's in the Pokeball.
It's in the Pokeball, and you can change the Pokemon. I'm gonna make 2 or 3 more of my friend's favorite Pokemon, so I can just like put them in the Pokeball, and she can put the rest in her refrigerator as they're in I don't know, when you give them to Professor Oak. And this is another fun one. This is the TARDIS in the vortex.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because I really messed up on this one. I was making one of these ones, a blue version of the portal. And I was just like messing with the paint, and it ended up pretty cool. So I'm like, what's like a purple and blue and white vortex? Like it's the Doctor Who time vortex, and I just painted TARDIS on the front, so it's in the foreground. There's smaller swirls in the middle ground, and the background it kind of looks like this. So when the light shines through it, you can see like
focus on it. Okay, good.
Yeah, you can see the vortex, and you can see it's really, really deep. And the TARDIS just in front getting hit by some lightning thing. And that one's I like that one. I have yet to put a magnet on it because the smaller magnets are much more difficult to find than the standard 1-inch ones. But I just use them that. I also play like games, like tabletop games where I just need like markers on the map. That's why I needed them in the first place. But yeah, it's fun ones like. But this one, when it goes like out of focus, when you go too far, it's like, oh, his eyes are floating. But that's the fun part of it, And I like making the food ones because people like. I like the donut ones. Yeah, I'm gonna make.
So what glue do you use to put the magnets on?
I use Loctite. It's this clear gel. It sticks to metal, so it works with the.
Covering the label.
Oh. So it's Loctite. It's super glue. It's gel. So and it dries clear. So for things like this, you can put them there and you won't notice it's really there. And it works with metal, and so you can stick them to the magnets and the aluminum pendants. And I like that it's really it dries clear, and You can control it. Some super glues are very liquidy and they just overflow and you don't know how much.
And I don't remember if I asked where you get the pendants from.
Oh, the pendants. Oh, this one I have to get from Amazon. But like I said, it's good that they're all standardized. So it's 1-inch ones. They actually sell them in sets with these.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like this, like 40 of these and 40 of these were like $10 on Amazon Prime.
Wow.
And if you order, there's different shapes too. They have a teardrop shape, an oval, a square, and a circle. And I think you can order one that's like 15 of each, and they're corresponding like cabochons.
I'm gonna put pictures of me and I'm gonna give them to my friends for gifts.
Yes, that's what they're originally for. You're supposed to like cut up pictures of you.
Oh, really?
Cut up pictures, and so when you put the lens, because they're like lenses, they would kind of magnify it.
Oh, that's
what they're
really
originally
cool.
for. And I used to do that too. Like I would do that, and I would put a mustache on my sister's face. That kind of things. Yeah, that's what they're originally for. That's why like the square ones are the best ones to work with, but the round ones are nice too. It's just, I think for the standard sizes, you can get those hole punches, and they're also 1 inch in diameter. So you can actually just do that with photos and just use the
That's cool.
the round
I would
1-inch
have
hole
just
punch.
used scissors, but that sounds really cool.
Oh, that's good. I'm nowhere near that good. That's why I have to make things that are very forgiving to mistakes, like TARDIS portals, because my hands are shaky. Yeah.
Well, I hope you liked this video and got some cool ideas from John here.
Don't forget to subscribe and like Katie's channel.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.